Welcome. In this video, where we're going to cover the great Speedy-Splat paper. So that's a paper that makes 3D Gaussian splatting much faster while retaining the quality. Okay, so there is no loss of quality or almost no loss, and you get much faster 3D Gaussian splatting. So that's a very nice paper. In this video, we're going to cover the paper. We're going to do a paper walkthrough. But in my next video, I'm going to implement this paper. So yeah, if you're interested, subscribe if it's not already done, so that you can watch the next video. Okay, so basically they have two main contributions. The first one is that they optimize the rendering pipeline. We're going to discuss that in a bit, but basically there were some kind of flaws in the initial 3D Gaussian splatting formulation, and they correct that, which makes the rendering pipeline much faster. And secondly, they introduce a novel pruning techniques so that you need much less Gaussians to get the same quality. So for example, here you can see the initial 3D Gaussian splatting that after training, after densification is 2.6 million Gaussians for that scene, while the technique with the improved pruning strategy, there is only 260k Gaussians. Okay, so 10 times less Gaussians, and therefore splatting is much faster. So maybe let's have a look at the first contribution. Okay, that's the first contribution. In my latest video, I implemented from scratch the 3D Gaussian splatting paper. If you have not seen yet the video, I would advise you to have a look at it. I will put the link in the description. But basically, if you've seen the video, you know that to compute to check if a Gaussian intersects with a tile, we compute the tiles that have a 99% probability to intersect with the Gaussian. And to do that, we compute a radius, where the radius size is 3 times the standard deviation. Well, 3 times the standard deviation along the major axis of the ellipse. And therefore, that gives us this circle in purple, and then we create a bounding box around the circle. But you can see that with basically we're over approximating the bounding box. There are a lot of tiles that should not intersect with the ellipse, but that we are considering. Okay, so that's what the initial 3D Gaussian splatting paper does. If you are a bit smarter, what you can do, instead of approximating the ellipse with the circle, what you can do is to use the equation of the ellipse and compute this bounding box in blue. Basically, you make your bounding box a bit tighter, and just by doing that, you already make rendering much faster. In the paper, they report a 2 times speed up. And then if you want to go even further, here you can see that there are some tiles that will be considered, that will be used later. Basically, we are going to say, okay, this tile, for example, or this one bottom right, we say they intersect with the ellipse with that snug box approach. But basically, yeah, those tiles do not intersect with the ellipse, so they should not be considered. And therefore, they have an extra step that they call acutile that remove those extra tiles. Okay. So basically, the snug box approach is very simple. Basically, you compute the equation of the ellipse, and basically you find the root of that equation. So basically, if you solve equation 14, if you find the root of that, you get equation 15 and 16. And basically, you can get 2 values of y, 2 values of x. And basically, these are the equation of the two. Of the corners of this rectangle. Okay, so that gives you the bounding box coordinates. On that alone, I think gives you almost a 2 times speed up. So that's very easy to implement. You just outcode. You just analytically compute y on x, and then you plug that into your code for computing the bounding box, instead of computing the bounding box with the 3 sigma rule. So if you do that, I'm trying to find the table. That's a 2 times speed up. This is in table 1. Okay, that's what I was looking for. But you can see that the snug box approach gives a 1.8 times speed up, versus the baseline. If you add the acutile approach, you get a 1.9 or well a 2 times speed up. Okay, so Snugbox makes a big gap in rendering speed, while acutile it's a bit more complex to implement and only gives marginal gains. And then we will see in a moment the second contribution, which is the pruning. Under pruning gives a 6, well, the acutile plus the pruning gives in a 6.7 times speed up, okay? So overall, this approach, this paper, gives almost a 7x speed up in Gaussian splatting while keeping the same quality. I think that's in table 3 or maybe table 2. Well, that's table 3. You can see PSNR on other metrics of the 3D Gaussian splatting baseline versus the versus other papers and versus this code, and you can see that metrics are very close or maybe sometimes a bit better than the ones from the 3D Gaussian splatting. Okay, so the second approach, what they do, basically they build upon the PUP 3D GS paper. So most of the authors of this paper were authors of this code, well, of this paper, PUP 3D GS. Basically, PUP 3D GS improves the pruning of Gaussian splatting by using the Hessian. And basically, they discuss two drawbacks of this of PUP 3D GS on the way they parameterize the Hessian. So basically, they mention two drawbacks. On here, what they do, they reparameterize the Hessian, which solves those two drawbacks, and therefore that gives them two approaches, the soft pruning and the hard pruning. I'm going to go into that in a bit, but basically if we sum up what they do, there are flaws in the previous method, and they solve them just by reparameterizing the Hessian. Here we're not going to dive into the details. Maybe I've not yet covered the PUP 3D GS paper in my YouTube channel. I think I will do it very soon, so if you're interested, subscribe. Basically what they do, first there is a pruning approach. On this pruning is done during the first 15k iteration of 3D Gaussian splatting. So by default, 3D Gaussian splatting trains for 30,000 iterations. During the first 15,000 iteration, there is the densification phase. And after 15k iterations, they stop the densification. They just fine-tune the Gaussians and their parameters for 15k more iterations. So basically here, there is one phase of pruning during the first 15k iterations. And then there is what they call hard pruning. After the 15k first iterations, they keep pruning. So every 3k iterations, they remove 30% of the Gaussians. But it means that the Gaussians they remove, because there is no more densification, the number of Gaussians cannot grow anymore. And let's say that you remove Gaussians in some important areas, you will have difficulties to reconstruct this area, to add Gaussians back there, because there is no more densification, okay? So I believe that's why they call it hard pruning. Every 3k iterations, you remove 30% of the Gaussians, so that's kind of exponential decay, that's really, that's in a way destroying a lot. That's very hard, that's really destroying, let's call it extreme. It's removing a lot of Gaussians, and that's why you have a very high speed up. You go from, well, this hard pruning alone gives a 2 times speed up. All the other contribution alone give all the other contribution together give a 3 times speed up. But then if you add the hard pruning, you have a 2x speed up, and therefore overall it's a 6.7 times speed up. Okay, so I would say that's it for this paper. We did not dive deeply into the the equation, so into the pruning. Again, in my next video, I'm going to implement this paper from scratch. Stay aware to see the video. As a reminder, I have a course on 3D Gaussian splatting. I will put the link in the description if you're interested. We implement the initial paper from scratch using PyTorch only, so no C++, no CUDA. So if you're interested, I will put the link in the description. Thank you.